Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Black Cats TV. We're here to have a little rant about the last game and then preview the next game, which is these mon right here, QPR.
Nearly went the wrong
Almost
way.
wrong side.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here to preview QPR, but before we do that, Oxford.
Yeah.
We're now the worst form in the league officially.
Yeah, I think I sent that into you before, didn't I? What is it?
Yeah.
4 losses and a draw in our last 5, and we are bottom of the form table, which is ideally what you want. We're joint bottom in that with Preston, who have done the exact same thing. And then Norwich have got 1 point more than that. So, yeah, it's a bit of a worry.
Now, I've seen lots of YouTubers already review this game, and they've had nothing but bad things to say. However,
understandable.
The first few minutes were very scary because they got a counter-attack instantly. But I think after that, for a good 20 minutes, we looked in control.
Yeah, it didn't look too bad, actually. It looked like, okay, we've ridden the storm out, and let's concentrate on playing our game. The worrying thing is we're seeing less and less of our game as the season seems to have gone on. Especially when you look back for the first, let's say, 3 months of the season. Yeah, we started to get to that bit where we got all the draws in there, but we knew what our game plan was, our ideas, our identity, and it feels like we've been slowly getting further and further away from that as this season sort of, I don't want to say petering out, but that's how it feels, and which is, and I'm sure you'll touch on this as well, is starting to come out in frustrations of our fans, probably you in a moment or so, especially the fans in attendance and the fans on YouTube as well, because we're sitting there going, you're sleepwalking into this opportunity that you've given yourself, and it's taken. It's not like we're sitting in there with Leeds, Burnley, Coventry, and then somebody else who's easily going to batter us. That's 5 teams, so I don't know how we do that. But we're not sitting there with all these teams in there that could easily batter us. We're sitting there going, you're the better side in this. You could easily win this.
I think that's the issue, though, isn't it? Because we've been a better side. It's not like if this was the start of a season and we had a run of form like this, we're like, oh, God, we should have got a striker, it's the players aren't that good. But we know they can do it. We know they can do a job. And that's the worst thing. And we go a goal down, and instead of instantly fight back, we lost the plot. We just completely lost the plot. And then, and just no control whatsoever. Dan Neil, shite, complete shite. There's no mincing around it this time. Just honestly, I think the commentator said Neil gives it away about 20 times in half an hour. Chris Rigg did all right. He had that header at 59 minutes. He was the best
one on the park, actually, I thought. He wasn't amazing, but he was the best one there.
But it was a bullet header. And a couple of times we looked dangerous around the box. But we've no one to finish.
No.
We've no finishers.
Has gone from prime Ronaldo to Sunderland Will Grigg within
the
space of signing that permanent deal. Really, I had a look before, and I think he signed properly on the 1st or 2nd of Feb, the day before the Middlesbrough game. Since then, he's got, I think, 3 goals, and they were all quite quick after. And one was the game after that against Middlesbrough, and then it's all sort of gone downhill since then. But he's not the only one since that.
Well, he's not
time.
Getting the service all the time, is he either? That's the thing. And I'm a bit gutted we've still not seen Mundle really in. No. So I don't know what's happening with him. It was nice to see Sirkin get some minutes.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's back. But where was Mienda? And why 2-0 down at 78 minutes do you make 2 defensive subs in the likes of Med and Brown?
That was an interesting one there. Mienda, I think, picked up a suspected knock/concussion in the previous game, so I think they're just being very careful with our only other forward option. And Isidore hasn't played all the games recently, so I think they were just like, we're just going to leave you out there. Like that's probably where I thought Mienda was likely. You're right. I don't know where Mundle is at the moment. They keep saying, I'll be back for the playoffs. But, when they show the pictures, he's back on the grass. He's back doing this. He's back doing that.
We didn't see that with Enzo either.
No, we didn't actually. But I'm not as concerned about the defensive substitutions because I'm sitting there going, good. Brown and Semed are better than Dan Neil at the moment and need to be a threat to him. And I'm sitting there going, I know Semed's had his issues, but again, when he came on, he's just calm on the ball and just did the simple passes right and just moved us forward. Granted, I didn't see a lot of him because at that point, when you're just looking at your hand, just going, oh, sorry.
It's worse the fact that I didn't watch it live. I watched the full 90 minutes on replay, and it's worse because there's just no hope.
Yeah,
there's no hope because I know the result. I'm just watching it for the sake of watching.
And then Brown's a trooper anyway. I think he just carries on and does what he does anyway, and the damage was done by then. But it's Sirkin. If we can get him back to Sirkin before the arm injury, then great. If we get the Sirkin that came back before, that's still slightly an improvement on Hjelde. Hjelde is, for me, still sitting too central and not supporting Enzo on the left. So I think the first ball that came over, 09 had to run out and cover, and Hjelde was in like a left centre-back position. It's like, where are you meant to be? You're meant to be over there. Like, there's a whole reason they got down the side is because of you. Like, and I don't know if it's he's being asked to play narrower. Like, but the whole point of Sunderland in the first several months of the season was we're wide. Everything, you either get it into the middle and they spray it out wide. Patterson, it comes in and goes out the other side. In, out the other side. Everything is a wide player to the middle. So we almost miss our midfield three, which arguably is our best bit on paper. And now we're asking them to probably try and hold on to it in the middle, and they can't do it.
Yeah. It's actually really worrying coming into the playoffs. But we'll go into that more in depth after the next game.
Yeah.
The next game we're here to preview is QPR. The reason I wanted to talk about Oxford is because QPR just played Oxford as well. The 9th of April, I think they played Oxford away, and they beat them 3-1.
Yes.
And we lost
5-0 QPR. That's my prediction now.
What do you think? What's our record like with QPR? Does that even make a difference at the moment? Surely this is the last chance to get some form going into the playoffs.
You would like to say no, it doesn't really make a difference, really. However, I'm really hoping it does, because if I go back to sort of 97, which is quite a lot, we've played them a good 20-ish times in there, maybe. We've only lost 4. And the last one being that we lost in 2018 in the Championship. So that was when we were in free fall down into League One. So that was the last time they beat us. Prior to that, 2014-2015 season in the Premier League, they did the double over us. But apart from that, we've drawn the last 2, 0-0. Both games have been 0-0. We then beat them 3-1, 3-0, a 2-2 draw. Somehow it says we won 0-0 in the League Cup. Oh, it was penalties. It was when we got to the was it the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup when we were in League One? We did play QPR and we drew 0-0 and won on penalties, didn't we? I don't know. It was just really threw me off. It went, you've won 0-0. That sounds like a very Sunderland thing to do, actually. Really.
Right now, it would be a win.
Yeah, exactly.
So, who are we looking out for, QPR? Who's a danger man?
Well, I mean, they do have 2 former Sunderland players in their ranks. The more disgusting of the 2 is Jack Colback, of course. I think he's still he's listed down here. He's played 23 times this season, 1 goal. He might have moved on. It doesn't tell us if they've they have or not on here, but he was definitely there at the start. I will quickly Google it while I tell you that the other player, who is a former Sunderland player, he was only on loan for 6 months while we were in League One. Do you remember who he was?
Done. Only because you told me before.
Yeah, that's fine. No, you could have taken the credit there. I'd have let you. Yeah, Jimmy Dunn, and he is still at QPR. Jack Colback. Jimmy Dunn is their second highest goal scorer from centre back. What an unbelievable player that is! 44 games, 5 goals for him. So he's pretty good. He's got 2 assists as well to him there. So for a centre back, we probably should have kept him. It's a bit like when you look back at like Jimmy Dunn, Dion Sanderson, who we had at centre back, and you're sitting there going, "These are all right, actually." Like
last game, they played him at right back. Funnily enough, sorry about the background noise.
No,
it is what it is.
Then their other top scorer, Michael Frey, 28 goals, 28 games, 8 goals. Sorry, and then their top assister, Eilish Chair, 27 games, 6 goals. So they're not high scorers, but that is probably reflected in their sort of league position, I believe. I think they're still in with a chance of going down, I want to say. I'm not 100% on that one. 15th in the Championship, it says there. I'm just having a look at the table because there is still loads of teams that could go down, which they are not one of them.
Yeah.
So, no, they've managed to just pull themselves out of it recently. Although I am gutted that Plymouth Argyle are practically
Hopefully
relegated.
that gives them a bit of complacency because they did just get absolutely spanked 5-0 by Burnley, who Burnley, they're already up, right?
Did you see that? I think I sent it to you. Burnley 3-0 up. 60 minutes or so, maybe, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
QPR had a counter-attack. One player, 1v1. He ran at the defender, and then the next thing you see is about 8 Burnley players sprinting to get back in there before any QPR player gets in the shot. I'm like, look at this. They're already promoted. They're already 3-0 up away. And look at that desire to get back in and make sure that they do not concede a goal.
That's what we're lacking. That's what we're lacking, definitely.
So,
I mean, how do we line up against this? We've got to put out whatever is our best that's going to go into the playoffs, right? Surely.
I have this feeling that they're going to just, what's the word? Going to put out like a real sort of second stringer sort of side at the moment. I just think they're going
to rest everyone?
I think so.
Surely we can't go into playoffs with 5 defeats in a row.
It can, as Mick McCarthy would say. I don't know. Yeah, I just get this feeling that's what he's going to do. He's going to be like, I'm not risking anybody for the playoffs. What matters now is the 2 playoff semi-finals and then the final if we get there. So we look back at our team before: Patterson, Hugh, Meppen, O'Nien, Hjelde, Roberts, Neil, Rigg, Bellingham, Enzo and Isidore. Whereas on the bench you had Anderson, Sealed, Moore, Sirkin, Samed, Jones, Brown, Alexic and Watson. I really wouldn't be surprised if all apart from Moore started that game.
Do you know what? When Anderson and Jones started last time, didn't mind it. They both
were decent.
Like they wanted it, and that's what we're missing. A bit of passion. It might do us
good. Someone who wants it, and then if we're going to play Alexic, got to play him through the centre. If you're going to play Watson, he's got to play on the left. Like, we shoehorned him out right for a bit of that game, and I remember looking at him going, you just look like you don't know what you're doing out there. Like,
he still delivered a few decent balls, but with no one on the end.
He can cross the ball, but when it's just everything's then cutting back or staying out right, when it's actually like, he seems more like a Jack Clark-esque player that he wants his right foot from that angle rather than I want my right foot to swing it across the box for you. So I'm not saying that is what, Labrie will do, but I just get this feeling that maybe not Sirkin because they'll rest him, but you're more likely to see everyone who was on the bench for us get a start, and then someone like O'Nien will carry on, Hjelde will carry on.
I kind of hope you're not right because I really feel like we need to
if we lose 5 in a row before promotion.
We need to get a result to get the fans back behind the team. Because even if we do get past, let's say we draw Bristol, or whoever we get, we'll go into that in another show after this game. But whoever we get, say we do get through and we go into Wembley, I want a lively crowd behind the team, not people thinking, "Oh, this is already done." Oh, we're going to Wembley.
I was thinking this yesterday. I mean, we'll talk it more in the playoff one, but I've been to 2 playoff finals now, and I remember going to the Charlton one in 2019 and sitting there being really nervous and being like, I just don't think this is our time. It just doesn't feel right. We've limped over the line and we're sort of limping into this. Whereas the Wycombe one, I went into it going, he's only lost 1 in 18. We're on a good bit of form here. We're getting results out of games, even if we're not playing well. This is our game.
Would you feel like more like the limping one now?
Yeah, I don't even think we're limping. We're dead. Like from the past 4 results.
Being shot and sold on for glue.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I feel we've been shot. I don't know. It feels that way now. I want to be positive, and of course we are in the playoffs. And compared to last season, that is absolutely fantastic, especially with the youngsters that we've had. But it would be an absolute shame to ruin all this forward momentum we've made just because of we all got tired at the end or it just all fell apart at the end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's complacency a bit as well. We are
if we didn't go up. Like that's a question for the next one. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. We'll discuss that in depth a bit more. But it could be complacency because we're in this limbo position where everybody, nearly every team in the league has something to fight for. and we're just in this position, and we have been for the last 2-3 games, no matter what the result is.
The weekend before, or the Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, I think, didn't every playoff side lose to somebody else lower in the table, like much lower in the table as well? I'm sure Coventry lost to Plymouth. I'm sure Millwall lost to someone down the bottom.
Millwall lost the week before, but then Coventry lost the week after.
Yeah.
Borough lost when they could have got it, because we could be. I mean, Borough can still make it into the playoffs based on goal difference
is better. So if Coventry and Millwall don't win and Borough win, they jump them both. Right. So but then if Millwall win, they have to hope Coventry don't, because they've got a lesser goal difference than them by quite a way.
Do you know who Coventry have next?
Borough.
Yeah. So the fate is completely in their own hands, pretty much.
So
well, it depends. Who's Millwall got?
I don't know.
Actually. Burnley. So it's Borough's for the taking, that playoff spot.
I think it's Borough's for the take, because aren't Burnley still fighting out for the championship title as well?
94, 95, 96, 97. Ooh, yes, because
Leeds play tonight, though.
Yes, because the goal difference. Leeds got a better one.
Yeah, Leeds play tonight, so let's say they win, because I think, are they playing Bristol tonight?
They'll go joint top, but first on goal difference.
Yeah.
And then they've got Plymouth Argyle
as the last game.
However, Plymouth have been turning teams over.
But Plymouth pretty much can't stay up.
I know, but they've been turning teams over the last.
But Plymouth are 3 points away from safety and about 9 goals behind that team as well. So they'd have to
win 9-0. That's all right.
They'd have to win 9. Well, they only have to win 8-0 if the other one loses 1-0. You know, so
it's possible. Everything's possible still.
Yeah.
Except for my prediction.
It's Bristol City tonight. So if Bristol City get a point, I think they're guaranteed playoffs. Yeah. No, they'd have to win to guarantee playoffs. They're 67. Millwall and Coventry are both on 66. So if they both won, as an example, Bristol would drop out.
Yeah. So Bristol's got Leeds tonight, so they're not winning that.
Well, no. If Leeds want any hope of getting the title,
it's such a mad end to the season.
Good when you're not involved in it.
We're not involved in any of it.
We've been involved in none of this all season. We've just been fourth. Like locked in there. We're happy here. This is our lot in life. It's all we want.
Right. Predictions then.
Bollocks.
First of all, our prediction table has nobody predicted a 2-0 loss.
No.
So it's not moved.
Not moved.
And this is, are we including playoffs?
Yeah, why? It's this season, so why not?
Yeah, we'll include playoffs as well. So there's still time to get 1, 2, 3 points, 4 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
So you can still top this table if you get your predictions in and get them correct for these games.
Absolutely.
Use your mind, not your not your heart.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to almost sit here and go 1-0 QPR, but I never want to go again. I just have this feeling that we're doing it. But no, I'm gonna go 1-1. Drab. Really drab, uninspiring, 1-1, Jack Ross special.
This is the moment where Labrie pulls the magic hat round. The rabbit comes out. It's a 3-0 win, and we're going to storm into these playoffs. That's my prediction.
Storm in with 1 win in 6.
But it's just going to be something completely different. We're going to come out. We're going to have 2 strikers on the pitch. We're going to score a multitude of goals. Roberts is going to change his football boots and be able to shoot. Our shots won't get blocked. Everything's just going to fall into place, and the stars will align for Sunderland.
I'd rather hope the stars align for the 3 games after this one, or at least 2 of them. We smash someone in the first one, they don't get back in the second one, then we win the third one.
Yeah,
that's the ideal.
Anyone that's still here, I must say to you, I apologise for the live stream last week. It was going to happen, but we both just got held up and we just couldn't get somebody on there to do it. So apologies for that. Should be one for this last game, this last regular game of the season. We should have a live stream for that at 12:30.
Yeah, 12:30 kickoff, and then potentially we might be live on the evening as well to see our playoff fate and have a discussion with all the people who want to have a bit of a chat and a bit of a crack on.
Yes, we'll do that live, so make sure you join us for that as well, and I'll remind you in the game anyway. So that's about it. Anything more, Conrad?
No, just pull your fucking fingers out, Sunderland. Jesus Christ.
I'll reiterate that. Plus, like, subscribe, and all that wonderful stuff for our channel as well. And we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.